Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So in this session we are going to discuss about immunity and how it helps our body to be healthy. Also, it is one of the important topics from your chapters as well. So let us begin with the topic. Humans in everyday life get exposed to large number of infectious agents, and out of these some people get sick more often and some remain healthy. So the reason some people remain healthy is because their body is able to defend itself from these foreign agents. And this ability of the body to defend itself from these foreign agents, or I would say infectious agents, is known as immunity. Immunity are of two types. First one is the innate immunity and second one is the acquired immunity. So, let us begin understanding these two types of immunity one by one. Innate immunity is a type of immunity that we all possess since time of our birth. It is considered as the non-specific type of defense that is accomplished by different type of barriers provided by the innate immunity, such as the physical barriers, physiological barriers, cellular barriers, and cytokine barriers. In innate immunity, we will first decode the topic physical barriers. So skin on our body acts as the main barrier which prevents the entry of microorganisms or the infectious agents inside our body. So the mucus coating present on the various region helps trapping these microbes that enter inside our body, such as the mucus coatings which are present on the respiratory tract, gastrointestinal tract, and urogenital tract. So moving on to the next type of barrier, that is physiological barrier. Acids in stomach, saliva in mouth, and tears in eyes are some of the physiological barriers which prevent the invasion and the microbial growth inside our body. The next type of innate immunity barrier are the cellular barriers. So our body also has certain types of leukocytes or the white blood cells, also known as WBCs, such as the monocytes, the natural killer cells or natural killer lymphocytes, and various macrophages in the tissues. Now together they constitute a cellular barrier. So these cellular barriers help phagocytose and destroy the various microbes entering inside our body. Next type of barrier is the cytokine barriers. Yes, so some virus infected cells secrete proteins called as interferons. Those are called as interferons, which are secreted by the virus infected cells. Now, these interferons help protecting the non-infected cells from further viral infection in our body. So this is termed as the cytokine barriers. Moving on to the another type of immunity, which is the acquired immunity. So acquired immunity is pathogen specific, means it depends upon the memory of the body. So what happens is, when the body encounters the pathogen for the first time, it produces a very low intensity response which is known as the primary response. But when our body gets attacked with the same pathogen once again, then it elicits a highly intensified response which is now known as the secondary response, or it is also known as the anamnestic response. Both primary and secondary response is made possible because of the two special type of lymphocytes in our blood, that are the B lymphocytes or B cells, or the T lymphocytes or called as the T cells. Now, B lymphocytes in the blood, they produce the army of proteins in response to the pathogens. And these protective proteins produced by the B cells are known as the antibodies. These are known as the antibodies. But on the other hand, the T lymphocytes or the T cells, these help the B cells. They help the B cells to secrete these antibodies which they do not secrete themselves. Each antibody produced by B cells has 4 peptide chains, 2 small chains, 2 small chains and 2 longer chains. Now, the 2 small chains here, as you can see in this image, is known as the light chain, and the 2 longer chain in this antibody molecule is known as the heavy chain. Therefore, this antibody is represented as H2L2. In this, H is for the heavy chain and L is for the light chain. Now, in our body, different types of antibodies are produced, such as IgA, IgM, IgE and IgG. Acquired immunity or the acquired immune response is primarily of 2 types. First one is the humoral immune response and second one is the cell-mediated immunity, also known as CMI. So talking about the humoral immune response, so it is the humoral immune response only which is carried out by the antibodies which are present in the blood. So humoral refers to the blood or any fluid present in the body. Now, this kind of immune system where antibodies are fighting with the infectious agent or other bacterium entering inside our body. Now, this kind of acquired immunity is termed as the humoral immune response. Next is the cell-mediated immunity or CMI. So, CMI is mediated by T lymphocytes. Yes, it is mediated by T lymphocytes. So, what happens is when heart, eye, liver, kidneys fail to function, then transplantation is the only remedy that can be performed. Yes, so from there start the search of a healthy donor, because grafts cannot be made from any source as it might get rejected sooner or later. So what exactly are the grafts? So basically grafts are the part of tissues. These are the parts of tissue which needs to get transplanted from a healthy donor to a needy one. So in this case, the grafts cannot get rejected in a person who is in need. So that can be looked in case of transplantation. So before the process of transplantation, tissue matching and blood group matching is conducted beforehand. Yes, and accordingly, our body is able to differentiate between itself and non-self cells while rejecting the inappropriate grafts in the process. Yes, so now this type of response that we are studying, shown by our body, is basically the cell-mediated immune response that we are talking about. Yes, but here the thing is, unlike humoral immune response, CMI, the cell-mediated immunity, does not involve the antibodies, but it activates the various cells such as macrophages, natural killer cells, and also they release the various cytokines. And just after the organ transplant is done, the patient has to take immune suppressant all his or her life, because the immune suppressants basically hold back the immune system, helping to prevent any type of cell damage and cell inflammation after the transplant. So yes, with this we come to an end of our topic, immunity, and you can now go to EduRev notes for better and detailed understanding of this topic. Thank you.